From everyone at the Geek Week in Review, we want to share our thoughts with the family of George Perez this week, and thank you for your art. You will certainly be missed. Stay tuned, we've got another action-packed week of Star Wars, Marvel, and everything geeky on the Geek Week in Review.
The Geek Week in Review.
Hello and welcome back to the Geek Week in Review, episode 48. My name is Jacob's Toys. Of course, we've got the wonderful one and only SuperSorrell, and we've got RyanSpeaksGeek with his little rocket ship. It is week 48, which means that it marks 11 months of the Geek Week in Review, which is absolutely insane. If you've been following us since the beginning, then we appreciate you. And if you're new to the show, then please do like, share, subscribe, and all of those things. Check the description of the video for the gents details and give them a follow if you don't already do so. If you're listening to us on podcast, then we do appreciate you. And please do keep downloading, sharing, all of those things, because we do like our podcast listeners. They're there. It's just, even though they can't see our face, they listen to our voice, which is good, and we appreciate that. If you're on Instagram,
because you'll ruin the illusion.
No, it'll ruin the illusion of what we look like. If you're on Instagram or Facebook, then Geek Week in Review is on both of those platforms as well. You can give us a follow over there. Whew, week 48. That is insane. 11 months marks 11 months, which means we are only 4 weeks away from our big one. It doesn't sound big, does it? It's just the big one.
Big one,
but yeah, the year anniversary.
It sounds much better if you go our 365-day anniversary.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, so we're coming up to our 1 year. Quite a lot going on this week.
That means you can listen to a podcast every single day for a whole year if you think about it. That's insane. You could sit and listen from
every week.
Every week.
I was going to say, have I been black?
I know what I
meant. Without me, I was like going, what shit is this? You know, just the secret weekday chats going on. I'm in.
Yeah. For those of you that are tuning into the other 6 Geek Week in Review without Ryan, no, we're only joking. But yeah, it is. It's insane. It's insane that we've been going for 11 months now, and you know there are a handful of people that have been with us since that first episode, which is embarrassing because it was shaky on those first days, let's be honest, but we're molding it into something that we like. So
Ryan brought the fun.
Fun Ryan, that's it. That's going to be our new intro. And Ryan Speaks Geek, who brings the fun. But yeah, lots going on this week. It's a bit of a mixed bag with stuff that's going on. No real kind of TV movie news though, if I'm right. Is there anything big?
There was the final TV spot for Kenobi.
Trailers.
That did kind of drop this week. Yeah. Other than that, I think that was it. Now, obviously, we had the finale of Moon Knight last week. There's nothing really going on this week. Obviously, Celebration's coming up.
I don't know. There is a little bit of TV news, which
what's that?
It's not a big deal for a lot of people, but sort of the end of the Arrowverse.
Yes.
The Arrowverse, you know, they've all basically been cancelled. And it's funny because what was probably everyone's least favourite for quite a while was DC Legends of Tomorrow, which the first season and 2, it did start off a bit naff. Then it actually became the best one because it's pure fun. It doesn't take itself seriously. It's lots of self-in jokes. It's basically just a really, really good fun series. And now there's actually quite a strong campaign to give it a proper finish. No one's doing that for Batgirl or any of the other Arrow shows, but they are for DC Legends of Tomorrow. Everyone wants to give it like either a last season or a big special just to sort of wrap everything up. I mean, they just also, at the end of the last season, that turned out to be the final season, they just introduced Donald Faison as Booster Gold, which I was like, oh man, that would have been awesome to see more of him. So that is actually the one that I was kind of like, oh, if you're going to not cancel one, don't cancel DC Legends of Tomorrow, because it's the one I ended up actually going, I still want to watch this one. All the other ones, like Flash and everything, I just sort of started losing interest in, and I cut off at the Infinite Crisis thing.
Yeah.
You know, when it was like the whole thing, which was awesome. I thought this is a good jumping off period. And then I snuck myself back into DC Legends of Tomorrow because like it's just too fun.
You know, I did exactly the same. I stuck with Legends for quite a while. I mean, when Arrow first came out, when Arrow first launched, it was like nothing we'd seen before. Yeah. It was just incredible. And I think, you know, I hate to draw comparisons between Marvel and DC because they are, you know, it's all comic books, it's all fun, but they're obviously two very different properties. And at the time, Marvel's TV offering was nowhere near as strong. It had like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., a couple of the one shots. I think Agent Carter had either started or was in talks about it. And so all of a sudden we had Arrow. My personal opinion that in what killed it is they should have pulled those shows into the Justice League films. They should have got Oliver Queen in. They should have stuck with the Flash that they had. And I just think that if they had tied those TV shows into the bigger movie...
Wasn't that always the plan, though? I always assumed that was the plan initially. And then obviously when the film... Everything got like messed up, didn't it?
Yeah, because I think they started making references to like Man of Steel and stuff. I think in the first, in like season 2, I think they made a few allusions to it. And the thing is, as well, like I bet they're probably wishing they went to Grant Gustin as the Flash because Ezra Miller is proving to be very problematic. So I bet they were kind of like, whereas Grant Gustin, all he's done is just comes onto the internet, and goes, "Hi guys, I'm still like one of the nicest people around." And they're like, "God, we had him in the bank, damn it."
But I really enjoyed his portrayal of Flash as well. Like it was just, and you had so many cool villains, like things like King Shark just looked better than he did in the Suicide Squad. Even though James Gunn's Suicide Squad was great, King Shark in the Flash was mean. Like he was mean. But yeah, I don't know. I got really disappointed as it kind of, I jumped off at Infinite as well. That to me was just, it was pre kind of Endgame, wasn't it? So it was like seeing all these characters come together, and there was that rooftop battle where you had all the different shows. Like, oh, it's brilliant.
You just weren't going to beat also having a cameo from Burt Ward. Still, like, you know, Burt Ward in a jumper in the Robin colors going, "Holy multiverse of death," or something like that.
Yeah,
that was, and then having the guy from like '89 Batman, you know, the news reporter, going, like, you know, so I was like, you just couldn't beat all those little. Even like it had, was it Gotham City Sirens? You know, what was it called? No, Birds of Prey. Sorry, the TV show. They even had that involved. I was like, they really went all out on that. I was just like, and they got Kevin Conroy involved. I was like,
it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And Brendan Ruth as well, isn't he? He was heavily involved as the Atom. Yeah, and then he came back as Superman, didn't he? And Dean Cain came back on it, didn't he? And
yeah, but not as Superman, which was annoying. I did want to see a Superman and Lois cameo, but he came back as he played Supergirl's adopted father in the Supergirl series.
Yes, yeah,
which was such a cool twist.
Tom Welling as well came in as well, didn't he? But we didn't see him. We didn't see him suit up, which was
he decided he had decided to take, you know, not have his powers because he
was just
got the kids and everything.
It was just so good. They just pulled in so many, and I think it's a shame to sort of see the end of it. But I don't know. And a lot of Prison Break actors as well.
Lasted long that long. Oh, I know. A bit longer.
A lot of the actors from Prison Break migrated over to Legends of Tomorrow or Arrow. It was just kind of like there's this one image where there's like all these kind of guys from Prison Break, and they're all from like all playing superheroes and supervillains. Yeah. But yeah, I just thought it was brilliant. I thought it was brilliant, and it's, you know, but I haven't watched it in ages. I just there was one point where I'd watch every single one that came out that week, and I just kind of gave up. I was like, this is getting too repetitive and too boring. And
do you know, I really wanted Batwoman to be good.
And they just had so many problems with it.
Yeah, and like the change, I only saw I've only seen clips of the new person as Batwoman. I can't remember what her name is, because they just sort of wrote because obviously Ruby Rose didn't come back.
No.
For whatever reason, so they had to write out that her character went missing, so someone else just took over as
someone yeah.
For me,
she was actually better than Ruby Rose, but I thought Ruby Rose was pretty good. But
I liked
Ruby Rose because I thought that the role was made for her, wasn't it? She was Batwoman to me. She looked the part, and she was actually, you know, she was the character. I can't explain it the way she was Batwoman, and it was a shame when she didn't come back. Massive shame.
Yeah.
It was just the season, like it had some really good parts of the episodes, but the problem is nothing really stood out for me. Whereas at least with like Arrow or Flash, even in a whole season, I could probably easily go like 2 or 3 episodes that were like, oh yeah, they were phenomenal, or just some real highlight bits. Was Batwoman was sort of quite enjoyable, but just there wasn't anything that kind of like in it, and I think that was where it suffered a little bit because all the others had big sort of huge moments, and this one just didn't quite have that.
I think I'd go on. Sorry.
No, go on. Yeah.
I was just going to say, I think I've really got a weakness for kind of like archery shows. It's like I've just realised that I loved Arrow, and Hawkeye is like one of my favourite Avengers. And I don't, what is it about guys with no powers and bows and arrows? It just that's give them a costume.
And a lot as a kid.
I just my favourite Disney film was Robin Hood. What is wrong with me? But yeah.
If the rumor mill's anything to go by, we could obviously we've got the Batgirl movie coming out.
Yeah.
And they're obviously paying a lot of homage to the original Batman, 89 Batman in that with Keaton and stuff. And James Gunn apparently, again, this is all just roots and speculation and stuff, is supposedly wanting to direct a Harley Quinn film where we introduce Poison Ivy. And now we could start getting some good DC movies if they go down the women of DC have always been more popular, I think. Like if you start getting a series together with Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Catwoman, Batgirl, you've got the sirens and stuff. Yeah. So that's
what happens.
One of the funniest things ever. It's brilliant.
What happened to the Birds of Prey film though? Like that kind of came and went, like without anyone really talking about it.
Because they turned it into the emancipation of
Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn.
Like,
it was a Harley Quinn movie, wasn't it?
Stupidly long title, and it was okay. It wasn't the strongest one. I kind of keep forgetting about it. It sounds really bad. That's not a good sign because I still remember the first Suicide Squad, but I kind of forgot about the Harley Quinn movie.
Yeah,
because I think Birds of Prey, like again, good acting and everything in it. It was a bit of a forgettable. Who was the villain in it again?
Black Mask.
Oh shit, yeah, it was. It was
Ewan McGregor,
wasn't it?
I've never
That's
seen.
What I mean, it's not. It just didn't. It didn't have.
No,
the
it
fireworks.
didn't.
Whereas
Gel.
Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad, like the new one, absolutely amazing. Like just basically Sean Gunn just let her Margot Robbie do what she wanted to do it. So she got rid of like the tattoo she hated and stuff like that. She just did the character how she wanted to.
Yeah,
instantly more memorable.
Yeah,
because supposedly, I forgot the actress's name. Her that was in her that plays Nebula in Guardians of the Galaxy and Doctor Who.
Kate McGillan.
Yeah.
She's supposedly in talks with James Gunn to come on as Poison Ivy, supposedly. So she could be a very good Poison Ivy opposite Margot Robbie. That could be interesting. Like,
well, that is one of DC's favorite couples now, isn't it? It's Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy.
But you look at the difference in her character. Was her character Amy Pond in?
Yeah,
Doctor Who,
it was in Doctor Who, wasn't it? Yeah. But you look at her compared to Nebula, like she's got range, like, and I'd love to see her play. I'd love to see how what kind of Poison Ivy would she play? That's all that.
I think they'd go down. I think I think they'd keep it very similar to how they've done it in the animated series because Poison Ivy is Harley Quinn is the comedy relief and the silly character. Poison Ivy would have to be the domineering sort of like backbone of Harley Quinn. Like you're not going to go see the Joker kind of, put a foot down kind of, common sensey kind of character.
That is cool. That really is cool.
I love that show. Cool. We should talk about that more. That is a great show.
Yeah, I've only seen a little bit of it.
I've still not seen season 2. I need to see season 2.
I ended up because so annoying. I watched all of the whole first season when it was on TV. I somehow missed the last episode though; it didn't record. But then they just didn't re-show it on E4. So it got to the point I was like waiting for it to re-show, and then season 2 came on. I started recording it, but I still haven't watched it because I was like I had to get that last episode of season 1 because it ends on like a big thing as well. So I was like apparently. So I in the end I just bought the DVD box set of Harley Quinn, and I've just started watching it from the beginning again. I was like,
is it out on Blu-ray now? Then is it out?
Yeah.
Oh, I need to pick that up then.
You know what I've been rewatching?
Get it on the Warner Brothers store.
I've gone back and rewatched the whole Defenders saga, as they're calling it now on Disney Plus, and it's actually incredible. Like I forgot how good it was. No, I forgot how good it was. There's definitely weaker parts and there's definitely weaker elements, but Iron Fist was a lot better than I remembered it. As a whole, like watching the whole kind of Defenders saga in order, it was definitely better.
Jake lost all his followers and all of his subscribers.
Listen, it wasn't. It wasn't Iron Fist the way that he should have been portrayed. but as a TV show, it was a lot better than I remember. I remember at the time being really annoyed and just kind of whatever. But there's a lot of action that takes place in it, and you get Colleen Wing as well. Like, it's just awesome. Punisher is phenomenal. Like, it's just brilliant. It's so human and so
Punisher.
yeah. Oh, it's the role that he was born to play. Like, it's just and I'm a massive Walking Dead fan, and I forget that he was such a big character in Walking Dead, like played Sean, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, Shane.
No,
Shane.
yeah.
Played Shane in The Walking Dead at the beginning. Coral. But yeah, it's just brilliant. But I've literally got the rest of Punisher to watch, and then the last season of Jessica Jones, and then I've completed the Defenders saga, because I just thought, I'm paying for my Disney Plus. You've given me a good kind of 4 weeks worth of TV shows here. I'm gonna rewatch them.
Do you think the reason for bringing them over is because they're going to revitalize them?
Yeah.
Because obviously Echo's coming out. Kingpin's already in the MCU now. Hawkeye's kind of taking place within that Defenders setting. It feels very much the same setting. Could we be seeing like them bringing those characters, like certain actors back to play those characters in future things, and then refer it as the Defenders? Like I say, it's the Defenders saga. Like Echo and that could easily tie into Defenders.
One thing Disney have learned is that fans absolutely go shit when you cross as many characters over as physically possible into anything. So Echo, if you own it, use it.
Echo and Daredevil should cross paths, because that is a big major part of the comic books. Kingpin is both their now major villain. It'd be silly not to have Matt Murdock appear in Echo, in my opinion. Just because of the whole she's deaf, he's blind. It was always a great combination, because they both use Echo sense to fight. They both use the same sort of method of fighting.
My theory.
Like the tagline then. Yeah, she's deaf, he's blind. Anything can happen in the next half hour. Only on Echo.
My theory is that they're building up like the street level. So you're going to have like your street level kind of heroes. You're going to have your kind of top tier heroes like your Iron Man and your Thors and stuff like that. And you're going to have your cosmic. And you've got those three kind of levels, and they're going to release stuff, and it's going to kind of be, where do they fall in? Do they fall in the big like cosmic side of it? Do they fall in the kind of like the top tier, if you like, or do they fall in street level? Because you've got characters like Shang-Chi that's obviously had a big high budget movie that could potentially go into a TV show, and then you just see him doing the street level stuff, or it could go the other way and he's going to become this big top tier character. Obviously, he's going to stay top tier because it's such a popular film, but it's characters like that. Moon Knight, for example, like he could stay kind of street level or kind of go up a tier. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's how they're going to build it. And there's such a history of these kind of street level street level heroes. Your Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Daredevil, Punisher. They're all there that have potential to move up or have that own that kind of, that, I don't want to say bottom tier because it's not, but like the street level tier.
Yeah, I think we've now got the way the MCU is set up. I think it's set up to give us three like tiers now. You've got your cosmic level stuff, which is your Avengers, your Captain Americas, all that kind of stuff, all those top tier Avengers characters. Then for me, you've got like Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, Wanda, those characters there in the middle. And then I think you've got Spider-Man, who's set in the way with the Defenders and that to have the street level stuff. I don't think we'll see Spider-Man getting involved in it on a cosmic level ever again. I think he's going to be dealing with the street level. The way they've set it up at the end of that film was he's got the radio, he's got his like classic suit. For me, he's going to be street level thugs kind of stuff.
Yeah, no,
which is where Spider-Man's comics always were originally, and his
without a doubt. And if you think about it as well, like he's had his big kind of cosmic arc. So if his films going forward, apart from the symbiote and the that kind of level of the story, he could have a film or two where he's doing the street level stuff. He's dealing with things like Hammerhead and Tombstone and all those kind of street level thug kind of villains, and it would cross over with the Punisher and cross over with Daredevil.
Yeah, with Daredevil, and we need to see those crossovers with Spider-Man because
they're some of my favorite in the in the comic books. But then there's comic book crossovers as well, like Luke Cage and Ghost Rider, or Iron Fist and Ghost Rider and stuff like that. There's so much potential, and I think
I've got a feeling eventually Defenders will become Knights. I think it'll start out as the Defender
Yeah.
saga, it'll move into Marvel Knights. I think eventually, and that's where you see like your Blade and stuff get introduced.
Yeah,
That's
Marvel
TV
Comics
Phase 3.
Yeah.
TV will start having its own phase system.
But Marvel Comics introduced Marvel Knights as a kind of a way of revamping it and making it more mature and all the rest of it. And I think that it's a perfect soundboard. It's a perfect kind of canvas for them to do these things. And I think we've seen it already with Moon Knight. If you look at that didn't really. I mean, I know we had massive gods kind of fighting in the sky, but it was still very street level. The whole TV show is still very street level. There wasn't anything that took it up to like a
as well.
Yeah, and it wasn't Thor level kind of battles, was it? It was him fighting, like, and I think that's we've seen like a taste of potentially where they're going to go, especially after the popularity of how good Moon Knight was, which didn't tie into anything. It's not tied into anything. They've not tied it into anything. Although I've seen some really cool videos on YouTube where people have edited in lightsabers. Have you seen that one? Moon Knight with lightsabers, and then he
always
wakes
do
up.
Lightsabers, don't they?
But then he wakes up. He has his glitch, and then he wakes up as Poe, and he goes, "No, no." Yeah. That's really good. There's another one where someone's edited him into Civil War, and you see him fighting all the others, and Mr. Knight kind of going, "All right, everyone, just take a minute, like chill out." Like, it's just really funny. But
you see the character that now Mr. Knight is a meetable character in Disneyland. You see the costume.
Is he really?
Yeah. The person doing it sounds just like him. He's a very good impersonator. It's got the glowing eyes and everything. It is perfect.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And every so often, like they'll play the music there every time when he goes, "No, I'm not ready to go yet." And like, he's like, he says, "Jacob, stay in there, Jacob." Jake, stay in there.
Oh, amazing!
He's
amazing.
So good. The guy who plays him looks so good.
I can't wait to get back to Disney. I'll tell you that much, because last time I went, the only place you could meet Marvel superheroes was Universal Studios, like Marvel Island of Adventures, and they're cool, but they were very comic book. And I'm looking forward to getting over there and kind of rubbing shoulders with the MCU counterparts.
I'm very envious right now because Girl Strikes Back and her partner Empire, they are currently there. They took loads of pictures at Galaxy's Edge the other day, and then she put up an Instagram photo today of them searching through a flea market, and there was like 1,000 toys around them. It's like, I want to be there so bad.
Yeah, I did see that. I was just like, it literally looks like she's in Sorrell's photos from like a few weeks ago. Yeah, no, I can't wait to get back. Maybe next year. I think we're going to go. I don't know. Wait for our youngest to be a little bit older. We
priced up for the end of this year for us three to go, and it was like 3,200. Like, that's the cheapest it's been for ages. Like, I could do a December trip. I think got a couple of Comic Cons to save up for it.
I know.
Conversation. I am so out of the price range of this instantly.
We need to set up a GoFundMe. Get Ryan to Disney, because everyone needs to go. Especially nowadays. It's just Marvel, Star Wars, Disney. Like, what more do you want?
That is true. I would absolutely love to go. Like, I'm not saying I commit a crime to go, but like, it'd be on the cards.
To donate to Ryan's GoFundMe page to get him to... No, I can't do that.
And to stop him from going to a life of crime, it's...
Call our hotline now.
Did you know for just £2 a month, you can make Ryan go to Disneyland Paris? I'd sell for that.
So there we go. So there wasn't much on telly, but there's a little bit of telly talk for you guys that enjoy our talks about telly. Talk?
Can we make
Geek
that
Week in Review? Telly Talks. So where are we going with figures and releases and rumors and?
So did we get any Marvel stuff this week at all? Was there any Marvel things?
No. The only thing that came, there was no kind of reveals or anything, but this guy launched over here in the UK, and he's not due out in America, in the States, until like September time. He's cool. He's all right. He's literally just a rehash of the Builder figure.
The
single jointed needs
came out early, as always. That seems to be the new things now. Everything seems to be coming out early, and I get it is kind of annoying, because if you start budgeting for things at certain times, and they don't even stick remotely to the release time. Like, I'm kind of glad I've got them, don't get me wrong, but now I'm like, I've got them, and there's like nothing now for like a really long time. They've not even announced anything to be in like 6 months.
You know what it
time,
is? That a lot of the dates that were on, especially the Marvel figures, a lot of the dates that were put on them were not true. They were like holding dates. They were like,
yeah. Everyone's kind of doing this with Star Wars as well. It's like I keep on saying to people, these aren't real dates. These are just they're just putting that as a placeholder. It's gonna come sooner. Everything's moving forward faster. And they're just saying that so they don't disappoint you by saying it's coming in May and it doesn't arrive in May.
Yeah.
It's a way of just going, I'll put this out for next year, but it'll probably turn up in the next month.
Yeah, and it is difficult when it comes to budgeting and things because
difficult.
you know, you middle of the month you kind of get an invoice for a wave or a figure or something like that. Like I get that that's annoying, but
I'm just saying I'm glad it was a wave of 4.
Yeah.
Can I just say that I'm free and liberated because I don't get any bills anymore?
No, I don't. I
literally
got the only thing I actually do pre-order is the Marvel retro and the Star Wars retro, because that's the only things that I kind of don't want to miss out on. So like that's the only things I decided to pre-order. Everything else I've just not bothered with. It's just to catch it in the wild.
My week was sorry, go on.
No, go finish.
I said my week was just very excited because I obviously like I don't pre-order anymore, and when I just saw that In Demand had import stock for the comic book Star Wars figures, I was like, yes,
nice.
Yeah.
As much as we're all kicking off about Black Kirsten, I was like, I'm still gonna have to own the guy. So
he looks good as well.
It don't look too bad. It don't look too bad. It's not as it was.
I was gonna say there was a massive drop in Marvel this week. My shelf.
I did wonder where there's a little gap
there.
I thought there was
a bit
of multiverse going on.
You've been waiting to catch it on camera, and unfortunately, it happened literally moments before we went on camera. But yeah,
It's a shame we didn't capture any of it.
It's my MCU Thor shelf, actually. Funny enough, so it's pretty much I've got like the.
So basically, what you're saying, Ragnarok happened.
Pretty much. But I got my quantum suits at the back, like my customs, and they all stayed where they were, and then everything in front of it, which was all Thor, has just all tumbled. So yeah, they're all all Thor, which is annoying, but hey ho, happens. But I must admit they're very well positioned. That very rarely do they fall down, even when we had all the storms and everything like that. But it's because I took one of the figures out from the back without moving any others. So I took one out to do a video, and I thought I was being clever by putting it back in. And then obviously I come in and it just kind of waited for me to sit down and was like, so, yeah, that's the biggest drop for Marvel this week is my middle shelf.
Transformers had some reveals actually during this week. So
Transformers went mad,
yeah, because like especially with the Wreckers. So the Wreckers, do you guys know much about the Wreckers? It's
kind
of like I guess it's like a Defenders type thing, but in Transformers. So the idea was like you had like the main war going on between Autobots, Decepticons. The Wreckers were like this subgroup of Autobots, and they were like the outcasts or ones that maybe were borderline on the whole ethics of being an Autobot type thing in the comics. And it was like they've had several different leaders over the time and different lineups, but they're always like the team that, you know, it's kind of like the sort of guerrilla squad, a bit like the Bad Batch, I guess, in that sort of, you know, when you would send in a team that's unorthodox and breaks the rules and maybe does things that other people can't do and stuff like that. So it's always been a really sort of famous comic book sort of group, and it's always been like really enjoyed. And they did try and do it in the live action with Michael Bay, and that was that exists. So just gonna skip over that very quickly.
I love those films. I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely love them.
The great fun for watching robots beat the crap out of each other. I do like them for that. Yeah. But if you're Transformer lore wise, or just like, do you know what that is with those films? It's the continuity is wrong. Like none of it is right. There's in like, because there's 6 spots in one scene, 2 of them are just missing for half the film, and at the end when Prime's making his speech, they're just there. I'm like, and then you find out one of them, Jolt, was added last minute because they got a sponsorship deal from an electric car company. So he's just crudely put into the. It's like, it's just I don't know. Have it. I don't care about the designs. I like the designs. I think it's really clever, but just make sure that people who are meant to be in the shot are actually in the shot from like.
It's all kicking off, and they just transformed into like a turbine or a like saying like missed all the action, and then at the end, yeah, I'm here, I'm cool. Yeah, sorry, present.
I was in stasis lock. Lies.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the records are sort of from that, but they're based on the comic book ones, and they're using some existing molds and retooling. And so they've released them, but they've released them in like special boxes as well. So it's all going to be Hasbro Pulse. And you've got like sort of the big 2 packs at the bottom, and they make like a pyramid, just 5 releases, but 7 figures. And then the boxes, you can actually make a giant sort of hammer, like Wrecker's hammer.
Oh, cool.
Out of some of the stuff in the packaging. So it is really clever. I mean, it's very divisive on a lot of people, because some people are just like, why are we getting more repaints, blah, blah, blah. But then that's the same with any kind of toy line. But I applaud them for trying to go to something a bit different in the Transformer universe, rather than just sticking to your standard G1 characters. They're actually going for like a subgroup that's always there. You know
what? Why you mentioned repaints, right? I just want to touch on this. Like, I don't have a huge problem with repaints myself as a collector, because if you're pushing out an official figure of something, as long as all the parts make sense, then I'm cool with that. Like, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't want repaint after repaint for everything, but like in the Marvel line, they give us enough. But if they put out a wave and we've got a completely new sculpted figure that puts a character into our collection that we wouldn't have normally had, and because of that we've got maybe 2 repaints in the wave, they're still new characters. Like, it doesn't matter if a male body and a female body pretty much stay the same. Like, there's not a huge, especially for superheroes, and Transformers I think would probably be the same. Like, a standard kind of mold
share the same sort of character molds.
So
that's happened since G1 time. So
and I thought that when people complain, oh, we got another repaint, and it's like, no, if you were giving us like Omega Red on a Spider-Man body because it was a repaint, no, it wouldn't work. Like, do you know what I mean? It has to be but if it's a character that's the same kind of build, then that makes absolute sense. And like,
I agree. Like,
no problem.
Like troopers and droids. I've got I've got all my Stan Sailor figures, obviously. And protocol droid wise, I've got K3PO, R3PO, U3PO. It's the same body, but obviously different colors. But they are very different characters. And same with troopers. I'm like in an Imperial army. So I've got like some sand troopers, and I've got them with different color pauldrons, and that's basically the only difference. But that means I've got someone who leads the squad, someone who's the captain, and then I've got the grunts and stuff like that. And if you're like an army builder, like you said, I don't mind it. I think because people have just got to the point where they just want to see something new every single time. But actually, there is a huge market for people who do collect things that are of the same type as well. But like you said, things like an astromech droid. An R2 unit is an R2 unit, so you just have to change the colors. Occasionally they have some specialized design on each one, or it has a different feature, but along the whole thing, I mean, look at the droid factory line. There literally was all the parts repainted in Disneyland where you can go and get. It's the same leg but in different colors, but no one's moaning about that. It's really odd. I agree with you. I find it odd, the whole repaint thing. Like, don't get me wrong, I get it when they're like, I don't understand the carbonized collection when it's like normal people without helmets and stuff like that. Like, and there's some bits I'm gonna go like, okay, I don't see the logic in that, but then I'm not a toy maker, so
90. If you want to talk about Repaint City, then just refer to the old Kenner Batman line.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
The animated series Batman figure was the same mold time and time again, just repainted in different fancy colors and called it Scuba Batman, Lava Batman, Metallic Batman,
Child Support Batman. Every variety.
So I mean, this has been going on since the dawn of time.
Purple Batman, lime green Batman. Like,
that's what I mean. How many different colored Batmans did we own in the 90s in like the Kenner line? You had thousands, but you didn't kick off about it as a kid. You were like, I've just got loads of Batman figures.
Went nuts. Went absolutely nuts. It's just kind of like, okay, your parents are selling. Why are we buying you the same Batman in a different color? Because this one is Scuba Batman. Like, this is not the same. This is a completely different Batman. Like, yeah, I agree. I agree. But I mean, maybe it comes from originally, like if I go back to my original toy line that kind of got me into collecting, Masters of the Universe, like that was the ultimate repaint and remold. Like 90% of that line was the same boots, like Skeletor and He-Man are the same figure with different rubber heads and just in different colors. Like they both got the same pants, the same boots, the same physique. Like they were working out at the same gym on the same like exercises because they are identical.
I find it funny though. You never hear this from like the WWE collectors really. And you got to think how many versions of The Rock have they released? Triple H, Stone Cold. There's one in every single wave. A bit like
pants.
That's what I mean. It's the same thing as if you were getting a new Logan, a new Spider-Man, a new Captain America in every wave. They get a new Rock, a new Stone Cold, a new Triple H, but you don't hear them kicking off about it.
Yeah, it always cracks me up when people complain that there's a Wolverine or there's an Iron Man in the wave. And it's like, do you know how many different versions of the armor he's got? He's got like
in the series called Armor Wars coming out. Like, did you see Iron Man 3? He literally had a lift for different floors of how many armor he had.
But in the MCU, I think it was 85 it ended on, like Mark 85. So there's like 85 suits just in the MCU. Like that's without even going into the comic book lore of like how many suits there are. So yes, we're going to get an Iron Man because they're giving us them all. Like that whole shelf above my fallen down one is all Iron Man. Like where am I going? Oh, there we go. That one. That's all Iron Man. But you know, I don't know. I just had to have a little rant there because I don't mind your repaints. As long as you're giving me something new and something valid for the collection, I'm happy. Do not mind.
No, I'm the same. I'm a massive Stormtrooper, Clone Trooper collector. So obviously I've got an entire shelf that is literally a repaint shelf, if you want to call it that. But I love them to bits. And I've got all different troopers, all different ranks. Like you say, different ranks. You've got everything from like the grunt right up to the captain, the sergeants. Yeah, so I'm not bothered about repaints. I'm happy.
I would say actually on that note though, I would say that if I had 3 repaints in a wave, I would want at least one new thing a wave.
Yeah,
it always is.
I like repaints, but yeah, exactly. There always is. I think I would be a bit more annoyed if you had like 2 waves in a row that were just repaints. Then I would probably be like, oh, that's a bit annoying. But like
that would annoy
I'd
me.
Probably get over it. But
that would annoy me
very quickly.
But no, but I agree. Like for me with Marvel, as long as there's 1 or 2 kind of new molds, new kind of figures that give us that character, I don't mind if there's a repainted or a reused mold for something else. That does not bother me. Like 90% of the figures have the same kind of physique. They're just different costumes or accessories or heads or stuff. So yeah, get over it.
And as much as we all say the silly things like
Ryan, you've gone really dark. Oh no, there we go. You just went really dark all of a sudden.
Yeah,
it's when you held your bottle up. Go on, sorry.
Focus on that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, as much as people say things like, you always hear someone that'll say, I want like new figures in every mold because I want them to give us every single character in Marvel. It's like, do you know how many characters there are in Marvel? And you're telling me you're going to buy every single one? Come on. We are even like most of us, when it comes to the comic book characters that are in the waves, 9 times out of 10 will go, who's that? So let's not pretend that we all want those secret hidden characters we all forget about because nobody remembers who they are anyway.
I had a game with my son a little while ago, and I told him to literally think of things, and we were on Google. I was like, think of things and put like man or woman after them, man or woman comic, and see how many of these things there are that pop up, and it was just like Bushman and things. Do you know what I mean? And these characters come up, and they were like, oh my god, like this is actually a character. I was like, a quick scam. I was like, yeah, he came out and like he's in this one.
I have got a book called The League of Regrettable Supervillains, and it is all just the lamest supervillains. But you got to remember, we did also have a superhero called Matter Eater Lad, who was actually referenced in Peacemaker, which was brilliant.
Yes.
But like that's a real superhero. If you've ever seen a superhero that was made just for one specific scenario, it was Matter Eater Lad.
Yeah.
Who could just eat anything.
Yeah. There was the funny thing is as well is that when you look back at comics, especially like the older comics, you would have villains that were created for that particular story. So there would be a for the sake of getting a comic book out, there'd be Spider-Man that would be going up against this new villain that you've never heard of because they had to fill a couple of weeks with something before they started on the next project or whatever. So there are so many
Avenger.
Yeah. But even just Spider-Man, look how many different versions of Spider-Man there are. Like, come on, let's not moan about repaints. As long as we're getting the characters that we want on our shelves, that's fine. But don't do too many repaints.
Yeah, that was my toy news.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry, I went off on one there.
It's like if you want to see a bunch of stupid characters, just go Google the X-Men. just look at some of them, like "Aye Boy," and some of the most random concoctions of heroes you've ever seen in your life. Because Stan Lee was a genius, but he was a mental genius. he had the most mental imagination when you think about it.
Oh, I know some of the characters.
Key and Peele sketch, where it's like Stan Lee, and he just keeps coming up with these really bad superhero teams to the board of designers, and like, no, it's ridiculous, blah blah. And he's like, I got it. It's about a young group of executives who all get fired, and they're like, "We love it, Stan. We love it." I thought you did. Excelsior.
There was one more Transformer news though. Before you move on from Transformers, big one for Transformers.
Yes, and it's interesting because, so if I may take the lead, being the Transformer nerd here.
Drum roll.
Lego Transformers. They're finally here. Again. So there's a common misconception that this is the first time we're getting a official brick-built Optimus Prime. False. In the words of Dwight Schrute. False. It is not. We actually had Built to Rule was the original line. Now, not many people remember Built to Rule. This was when Hasbro tried to do some Lego of their own, and they came up with a new line. This is before Creo as well. So this is before Creo. We had Built to Rule, which is with the Armada waves. They're interesting. I had a couple. You had like brick-built type things, and it was a combination of actual moving parts and also having to take it apart to turn it from vehicle to thing. They also did it for G.I. Joe, I think. So that was the first official bit with Prime. Then they did Creo, which is, again, Hasbro's other attempt at sort of Lego. Just, trying to make it sound as nicely close to as possible, which did some great stuff, had a great Star Trek line. They did it as more like a minifigure thing as well. You had some buildable big stuff, but they did it as more like a minifigure thing. Again, quite cool and quite collectible. And now we're getting the official Lego Optimus Prime. And it looks awesome. And it doesn't have to come apart to transform. That's the big difference. You build it and it transforms built. And that is, I think, probably the most impressive thing about it. People have been making their own ones for years, but to see an official one get released in that really lovely black collector box as well, I like that design. But to have it transform, I know some people are probably already a bit sour because it doesn't have a trailer. It's Lego. Build one. It's literally the best toy for customizing anything ever. But it's awesome. It's really impressive. They've gone for the G1 style rather than the modern movies, which probably lends itself because it's a blockier design. So given what it's made out of, probably fits it better. It's really articulated. It transforms. They didn't get Peter Cullen to do the advert though, which was a shame. But I'm really excited about it. I think that might be one I might get.
So what's the price on it? Do we know? I didn't look.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I think it's like about 150. I want to say maybe or something. It's 100 and something. I think.
Okay.
149.99
in the chair. Oh, there we go. So Ash is our guy in the chair. If we ever have a question, we go, "Oh, I wonder how much it is." We know we're gonna hear, and Ash will go, "I'll tell you how much it is."
To be honest with you, that's not a huge amount for a big Lego set like that.
Honest. That's quite reasonable for Lego.
No, but it is like it's not a cheap purchase, was what I mean. It's not like it's a 50 quid Lego set or a 60, 150 quid is still. I know as collectors we get quite a bit blind, like kind of casual about how much things are, but actually 150 quid is a lot of money in one go.
Yeah, it transforms though. It transforms.
I'm not knocking it. I really want it.
I assumed that to transform it, you would have to dismantle it and then rebuild it.
That's the impressive bit. You actually you build it and then it's a proper transformer. It's no different to like holding this up and being able to transform Studio Series 86 Slug. Actually called Slag, the character, but they had to rename him for mysterious reasons. So now he's Slug. But yeah, he will be like this kind of bit bigger than this actually. I think scale wise.
14 inch this thing.
Yeah, he's not huge. I was surprised that he was as small as that. I thought he was going to be bigger.
Does make it more impressive his transforming abilities when it being that size.
I did think it was going to be bigger.
The biggest sort of plate I can see in it. But the fact it has the matrix of leadership that you can actually see as well, that's in his chest. There's a few little really nice details, but it's the accessories he comes with. So he comes with buildable accessories for like energon cubes, the axe. He's got the jetpack from the episode, I think the second or third episode of the original G1 cartoon. So he's got a lot of really odd little bits that are just added with him. that are really nice little things. And the thing is, if you've got an Optimus Prime, I don't think we'll get a Megatron. A lot of people are going to want a G1 Megatron, but the problem with that is he turned into a gun. Lego really don't like doing proper war stuff, and to turn him into an actual replica of a Walther P3K, P38, whatever it is.
I always thought that was a really random one as well. Like, what good was he going to
toy? Well, it's
no, but what good was he going to do? Like, I just turn into a massive gun. It'd be like turn into a rolling pin because there's no one to pick him up and shoot him.
He didn't turn into a massive gun. Transformers technology in the show, they downsized to the size of it, so he turned into a gunner, and then Starscream or Soundwave would fire him. But to be honest, you got to remember they actually had the toys from different lines first when it came over to America, and they basically just went to a guy's office and said, make up names for these and decide who's going to be good guys and bad guys. So it was all reverse engineered out of that, because because that's how it used to work. But now there's that logic. That's why he's normally a tank and everything now, because you can't really make too many replica type looking guns, because it was a really.
What if they make him a tank though? Could they not do the tank version?
They could, but then you'll get people going, but we got a G1 Optimus Prime and that's not a G1. Yeah, I don't know if you know this about the internet, but people moan a lot on it. Yeah, so
they're out there.
I would like to see them make it.
Can I upset you completely? If they make a second one, we all know who it's going to be because he's the most popular with the children.
Oh, it'll be Bumblebee.
It'll be Bumblebee. Come on. Yeah. They'll give us a Bumblebee one. And just to annoy you, Ryan, it won't be G1, it'll be the movie version, just to wind you up that little bit more.
I like movie Bumblebee. The actual film, Bumblebee, the movie, is the best Transformers film out of all of them.
And that one with John Cena.
Yeah.
I like John Cena.
I could imagine if this Transformer sells, I could imagine them. Lego always want to one-up it. They won't want to just create another one that transforms. They won't want to do that. They'll want to one-up it. And I think by doing Bumblebee, they could do the electronic voice box that you build into the machine. Build into it and push a button, and he'll do the whole all the noises. And
I'd agree with that. I think if they did another like G1 one though, I think the obvious choice for Decepticon would be Soundwave. He turns into a Walkman, which is again quite square, quite blocky and everything, but the plot's really easy. The transformation is simple enough that you could reverse engineer it into Lego. It's not too complicated, because this is actually very similar to the G1 toy design in its transformation as well, the Optimus Prime. So I think Soundwave's good, but also because Soundwave had the cassette door open up, and then you had all the mini cassettes that then transformed into other bots, and so you could really make a good play feature out of that.
Yeah.
And now the weather.
No, it's cool. It's good. I was pleased to see it. Lego are just dominating. Lego have just got everything, haven't they? They've just got.
I still think there's a lot to be said for Playmobil. We're going to talk about licenses. Playmobil, I've got a license game strong. I can't wait to see what weird license they come up next.
It's similar like Stranger Things. Stranger Things are saying like Stranger Things Playmobil will be next. Like, it's just,
Lego are dominating right now with these black box ones. These new collector style sets.
Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah.
The fact that they're now doing the Star Wars ones with the diorama style, like this is the trash compactor one.
Yeah, the scenes are absolutely brilliant.
The scene. I think if this line continues, I think you'll see a lot of really cool bits from the movies redone.
Oh, I mean, you think here to stay, because some of the original ones they did because they used to do it as just exclusive. So I think at the very beginning they did 2 or 3, and they were like, if you spent X amount of money, you can get this and stuff like that. The very first 2 or 3 of them they did, and then I think they saw that how much people were trying to get them for in the secondary market, and were like, whoa, there's actually a really big market for these little dioramas, and now it's expanded. So you got the Dagobah set, you got so many coming out. But I agree with Ash. They look amazing.
Yeah, and the fact that this set, for what it is, it's expensive. It's on the more expensive side, about 70, 80 quid. But it comes with every single minifigure that you're going to ever want. It comes with Leia, Luke, Han, Chewie, and C-3PO and R2-D2 in one set.
Yeah. Well, they kind of had to give you that because the trash compactor essentially is like 3 walls and lots of Lego bricks. It's
the fact that you can make the walls come together and everything. It's a movable scene, which is awesome.
I must admit, it's the one that when I saw it, I was kind of like, nah, they can't charge that much for that. Surely it's like just rubble. It's just
for me, it was the Death Star run. The
trench one. Yeah,
that one's the one that I thought. Oh, do you realize that was the one that I thought was the naffest? To be honest.
Oh, really? I thought that was stunning.
I thought Dagobah was the most. I'm going to get some of those light bricks. Get that into the Death Star trench run. That's going to look savage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people with the Dagobah set that put a little light cube inside of Yoda's hut, so it looks like the light's on when they're stood outside of it. You can see the light shining out from the little hut.
You know, my favorite Lego set to this day is still, and I've had a lot of Lego over the time, but my favorite one that I've still got, and it's still in a glass cabinet, is the Disney Castle.
Yeah,
hands down, my favorite set. Not because it's
the
a
big
particular
one or the small one.
No, the big one, the big
one.
collector series, like. Not because it's even a particularly detailed set. Like, so the back of it is basically like half the front of the castle looks as it does, and then it cuts down. Have you got that, Sorrell?
I've got that one, yeah.
Yeah, and then the back of it, yeah, all the rooms are different films, and there's like little nods to different films throughout the back.
It's a bit like how Jurassic Park did the gate, and it on the back of the gate had the little.
Yeah, very similar, very similar. And I just thought, like, from the back, it's not that impressive. It's like I wouldn't look at it from the back. It's quite messy and whatnot, but when you've got it turned around on the front, it's a beautiful kind of statue of the Disney castle. And if you're a Disney fan, like me and my wife, like, we love our Disney stuff, and I got a display case for it, and it's one of the very few kind of nerdy things that I've got that's in my house, like actually in public, if that makes sense. It's in our dining room, and I got a couple of base plates, green base plates, and cut them to size. Then they did the collector minifigures, didn't they? Did two waves of collector minifigures. So I got as many of them as I could to get in there as well. So I've got all these different characters, and it just looks wicked. And then I got my own LEDs. Instead of buying the light bricks version, I kind of made my own version. So I got it all lights up inside the castle, and then I got blue ones around the edge, so it turns up and it illuminates the car. Oh, it's just beautiful. I absolutely love it.
I'll send you a picture of what my wife did. My wife did the we got Tinkerbell in the minifigure series.
Yes, yeah.
And then so she got one of them like see-through like piece like the plastic pieces, tied it to Tinkerbell, and had Tinkerbell as if she's like doing the ding on the top of the castle.
Oh, amazing!
Like
Tinkerbell was in the castle.
Oh, was she in the castle? Okay.
Yeah, she was exclusive to the castle.
Yeah, so Lynn built this little like thing to put her on, so it looks like she's going ding on top of the castle to like.
That's really cool. See,
I need to see pictures of these later, Scott, by the way.
I'll put it on the thing. You know what? Actually, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think my first ever Jacob's Toys post on Instagram was of my Disney castle. That's a bit of history for you right there. But no, I got the, like the clear bricks that you got. I think I got them with the firehouse for the Ghostbusters firehouse. And I've got one of those with Tinkerbell on it, so it looks like she's flying. And then where we got Peter Pan in the minifigure series, I've got him holding on to it, because you can't see it, you've got the pair of them flying up the side of the castle. But yeah, just never mind. Yeah, but I love it. I love that castle. I wouldn't sell that. I wouldn't part with it. It's one of the very I've had so many different sets, even the big collector series, Millennium Falcon, the Lego Firehouse, and I've moved all of them on. I had all the modular builds at one point. But the Disney Castle, I couldn't bring myself to part with. Like, that is
Lego space for
me. For me as well. That was it for me.
I've got the no, as in Lego space. That's my ones I won't get rid of.
Oh,
not space. I mean, I am.
I was like,
yeah,
me too.
But no, like I've got the Apollo lander. I got that for my 30th.
Oh, that's
that is, and I got the International Space Station as well. Like, and I would love the Saturn rocket, and I've got the Mars rover creative set as well. Like, I absolutely adore those, and they're one of those things that they're really special. I really like. Again, I wouldn't get rid of them. Even though I've moved on a lot of my Lego. I love like Nexo Knights. I got into the Minecraft Lego at one point, which is really cool. But it's just space and everything like that, and I'm moving a lot of that on. But that is stuff I won't ever. And I finally got the Lego ship in a bottle, which I'm really looking forward to building. And I got the Tron set as well. I really like the Tron set. It's so small, but yeah, it's just so good.
I collected to completion every single released part of Lego for the Batman Lego movie.
Yeah.
Every single minifigure, blind bag, like everything that came out for Lego Batman, I had it all. And it took up about 4 of these cabinets. And I was just like, I need to get rid of my Lego. It's taking up too much space. I can't dedicate that much space to Lego Batman. I just can't do it.
The clay face from that, because I think that's one of my favorite sets.
It is a cool set. Yeah.
The other ones, I have got the Batcave, which I'm going to be selling on soon, and quite a few of the minifigures and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'll be getting rid of those probably.
I even went down the line of getting third-party custom minifigures to get all the different bat suits that were featured.
Yeah, you also, if I remember correctly, you made all those custom white suits at the end of the end credits bit, and you made the whole.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I did. Well, the thing is you got a few of them like were released. So you got, I think there was like 4 of them that came in the waves and stuff, and I was like, this is not good enough, we need the entire dance party. So I built the little kind of scene, and then I customized them all. But yeah, it was just an amazing film.
One of my go-to happy films. I never get bored of watching.
Oh,
the Lego Batman movie.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I like any of the Lego
film.
movies, to be honest. I think the Ninjago one's really underrated. It's actually really funny.
Yeah, Lloyd.
Hello, Lloyd.
We on his way to Legoland the other year, when we almost reached Legoland, my wife turned on the Bluetooth on her phone and started playing the Lego soundtrack. So we had like that song from the second film, that this song's gonna get stuck inside your head.
Yeah.
She played all the Lego Batman one. She played all the stupid songs from Lego as we were approaching Legoland.
In the air vent.
I love Legoland. Legoland is a definite good place.
I'm so glad I went when I did, because they had the Star Wars thing that used to be there.
Yes,
which was awesome.
Yeah, I saw that as well. Is it really?
It's gone now. Yeah, it's gone.
A couple of years ago, I think. But
that's a shame.
Pandemic. But
the walkthrough bit, yeah, really cool.
It's now this thing where you can basically be a part of history, and you can build a model while you're there. There's like a massive Lego like block bricks, and you can basically build something to add into their like giant diorama that's like on this big ball. It's like it's meant to represent the world, like the Earth, and then everyone's sticking like little creations to it, like little robots, whatever. You can stick things to it, and they'll supposedly keep them all there until it's full, and share it on social media. But
they end of the week they go there. Yeah, that was rubbish.
Pull them down to lower.
That was rubbish. That was all right. No, I love Legoland. I must admit, my favourite thing Legoland, I don't know if it's been the same for you, but we took our kids, obviously, mainly because I wanted to go, but we took our kids. And there's the little
adults.
I went as an adult. I just had children in tow. But
during the school holidays as well, so there were no children. I was like,
there's the cars that the kids can drive, like the Lego tracks. And my son went on there, and bless him, couldn't see for Adam. Like his eyesight was really bad at the time. And there's like obviously a way round, and he just kind of renegaded, like just went his own way, like knocked about 4 cars out of the way. And I was like, yes, that's my son. that's my boy.
For me, those cars, because like when I was a kid,
I wanted to do it.
I was too small as a kid, and then when I went as an adult, I was too big. I mean, I could have probably done the whole like cartoon thing. I probably could have had one on each foot because I've got giant feet, and just done like a rollerblading experience.
I really wanted to do it. I was so disappointed that there wasn't an adult element. Like I was just like, come on, you are missing a trick here. Like, let the grown-ups drive adult Lego cars. Let's build a car and drive it.
Like.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Fair enough. So what about Star Wars?
Yeah, there is a massive Star Wars news to get through.
There's loads. Let's get through the Star Wars.
I'll shut up and let's do some Star Wars.
So the first thing of this week that came out was Beast Kingdom. They released their EAA 161, which stands for Egg Attack Action. And that's the Star Wars Rogue One Death Trooper. They have made it before, but this is like their new version. And it's got the like LEDs inside the mask and stuff to light up green, and his eyes now glow green and stuff.
What's nice? So,
the Death Trooper.
An egg collection.
It's called Egg Attack Action by Beast Kingdom. They're like little 4-inch little like fully posable big head, like big cheesy head, like Japanese style sort of thing. Ooh, I think they're from Taiwan. I think the factory, but yeah, they're very very like Asian looking, to be honest. Like the whole big head kawaii kind of look. And they made like a Deadpool, and it really suited Deadpool, obviously, because Deadpool's like a comic book character. And they made him, and he really worked in that series. And then they did like
fun. I like that.
Yeah, and then they did like Kevin Conroy's Batman with the light up eyes and stuff. They do a lot of really cool stuff, and they're only about 40 quid to buy. They're not that expensive. About the same as SH Figure Arts.
Yeah, I like them. They're really cool.
So that was the first one, and that comes out the first quarter of next year.
Nice.
Next, there was another Astromech droid reveal, which will be coming on to Shop Disney this Monday.
Yeah, so is this I saw this and I really like the design, but I'm not, is it a particular character or is it just a bit like the D23 ones and stuff like where they do the
and the Pride one that they did and stuff. It's just a made up one by Disney. It's called R2W50 to celebrate Walt Disney's 50th anniversary. And they've made him in the blue and gold, which is their current color scheme in the park. Everything's like blue and gold for their anniversary. So they've obviously built a droid and they've called him R2W50. It'll be one to get though, because obviously 50th is a big milestone for Disney, for the Walt Disney World Park. And these ones do go for a lot of money on the secondary market. A lot of money.
That means code word. That means if you've got a source, you're going to hook me up with one, right?
They're coming onto Disney Star website this week on Monday, tomorrow.
Oh yeah, it's the middle of the month. I ain't going to be able to afford that.
And if you're a member of the Astromech UK group on Facebook, they do so they occasionally will do like somebody will be like going over to Florida and will buy a mass of them, and you just pay them like a little bit on top to get it, basically. So there's a lot of places to get them. Or the Merch Queens is my usual go-to way of getting all this merch. I think I'm going to thin out my droids soon. Unfortunately, I've got too many, so I might be sending you some pictures because I've got a feeling I might have a few that even you don't have. I need as many droids as humanly possible. I'm trying to collect everything.
I've got the Dio box set, the 4-pack with Dio in it.
I've got the Dio one, the one from Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah,
I've got that one. I'm missing the Mandalorian one, which annoys the crap out of me. I missed the Mandalorian one was the ferry, the ferry boat one, and I missed that one. I missed the trick with that one because I said, I stupidly said to myself, "Well, I'm going to Florida soon. They'll never sell out." Gone. So we've got that new reveal coming out, and that's available from Shop Disney this Monday. Or at the time of recording, it'll be sold out. By the time you're listening, they'll be long gone.
Let's have a look at what you could have won. Take it away, Bullseye.
One of my favorite things that's coming out this week is obviously we're starting to hear about Celebration, and Celebration Live will be on the internet again for us who can't make it there. So it's going to be sponsored and presented by Geico, which it usually is, and basically all the major panels will be broadcast on their YouTube channel throughout the day. So if you're not going to miss any big Star Wars news, they will broadcast all the stuff. So I've got a couple of days off because that's just me. I'm going to sit and binge watch them all. And the live, and on the live this year, they've got Jordan Hembrook as one of the hosts. So
all right,
I've not seen his name for a little while again.
Going for it.
And then Fantha Tracks and some of the other websites this week, like your Yak Face and stuff, have been reporting and showing pictures that the Star Wars Celebration Pops have already made it to the UK, and you can get them right now in Tesco. So the 2022 Galactic Con exclusive Chewbacca, Luke, and the Stormtrooper have all been spotted and purchased at a Tesco. So keep your eyes peeled at Tesco's for all the good Funko stuff.
Points. So I mean, come on, that's just a win-win.
Well, the best part as well was, do you remember? It's a very old Star Wars comic book where Darth Vader is holding action figure versions of like Luke Skywalker and stuff.
Yes.
They are turning that into a Funko Pop vinyl. So you can get Darth Vader holding a Luke and stuff. That is very niche.
So niche. Are they going to be Funko? Are they going to be Funko Pop that he's holding though? Are they going to be?
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so.
Got to be, surely.
Meta, sure, yeah.
Yeah. So that's coming as well, but we don't know if that's going to be. It was basically on the like the big stands that they have that say Funko on them and stuff. And they have all the pops in it. It was one of those big plastic standees, and it was just a picture on the top left of it, and it said "coming soon." But you don't know whether that's a pop vinyl, whether that's a T-shirt, one of those like it could, because obviously if it's the comic book cover, I was thinking, what if it's going to be one of those like box T-shirts things that they do, like the cereal boxes, and have the whole comic book as like the cereal box, and then the T-shirt inside. That's how I would think they would do it. But if it's a pop vinyl, oh my god, I want one of those.
Yeah, makes sense. And
then obviously from the May 25th, when Obi Wan launches, we'll be saying goodbye to the Bounty collection. That will be long gone, and we'll start getting Obi Wan Wednesdays, because they couldn't come up with a catchphrase for that one. Obi Wan Wednesdays will replace it, and very similar to how they did the Mando Mondays and the Bounty stuff, the Bring Home the Bounty collection. Every week we'll be showing a bunch of new merch that featured as a part of Obi Wan, the television series, and all its merch.
And that is not far away now. That Obi Wan show is not far away.
We're just about a week and a half away now, aren't we? Not long. By the time, but in 2 weeks' time, we'll be talking about it.
Yeah.
We'll see the first 2 episodes
I'm
as well.
actually gonna have them sort of a couple hours off in the morning to just watch it. Because I think it will drop at probably like 8:30 maybe. But like it's gonna be 2 episodes, and I'm not having anything spoiled for me, so I am watching it as it is available.
Best way.
So it's where you got to do anything nowadays. Like it's too many spoilers out there.
And we saw this week as well, which I hope is coming to the UK, but Disneyland and Disney World have started putting out this merchandise with the Star Wars 45 logo on it that I showed you the other week.
Yeah.
And basically there's a bunch of t-shirts coming out that have got like vintage Kenner on them. And it says get your vintage on or something stupid and cheesy across the top. But they made like sweaters, t-shirts, cups, everything. So I'm hoping that line reaches the UK. We've already got the key with the logo on it. I know they probably came with the Ahsoka set, but come on, we've got to get that merch in the UK, surely.
Yeah. They're going to. When you think back to Star Wars, how so much of it was done in the UK, they can't not bring that stuff to the UK for the 45th anniversary. Just can't.
You'd hope so. But there's a bunch of new Galaxy's Edge merch all dropped this week as well, which is just insane, the amount that has dropped. It's like the first big update they've done since Galaxy's Edge kind of came out, really. It's like a big drop. They've now got a load of the cups that Luke drinks out of in New Hope to have his blue milk. It's basically that. It's the cup, like the style of cup with big white thing. They've released one of them. They've got loads of new droid builders merchandise. All the builder droid stuff's come back now because obviously COVID's now kind of on the way out. So hopefully it's gone the way out. So like Paris and all the parks have started putting the builder figure pieces back in, all new lines, all new colors. And you can now, the Sarlacc monster.
Yeah.
So basically, in Galaxy's Edge, there is in Doc Ondars, you can see a baby Sarlacc, and he's in a big red canister. They've now made it so you can buy your own little version of it. You can adopt your own Sarlacc monster, and it's basically a piggy bank. So you open up the top, you put your pennies in, and it eats them.
That is cool.
And you kind of go, I want one.
How much of a? Because I haven't been to Disneyland Paris, it's not even called that anymore, is it? It's called just Disneyland, isn't it?
It's Disneyland Paris. It's Disneyland Paris.
No, I thought they changed it to Disneyland and then Florida's Disney World.
No. Disneyland is in California.
Or Disneyland Paris.
Yes, you've got Disneyland, Disneyland Paris, and then you've got Disney World and Disney Tokyo Sea.
I haven't been back to Disneyland Paris since it opened. So we went in the first couple of years of it opening. I'm actually California? Yeah, I'm actually going to Disneyland Paris next year, at the beginning parts of next year. Like, how much is actually there, Star Wars wise? I know there's not a huge amount of Marvel there.
I'm not sure where. By next year, hopefully, their Galaxy's Edge will be built. They are building Galaxy's Edge out there. Galaxy's Edge is being built, and their Frozen Land will be built, and their Avengers Campus will be built by next. Because Avengers Campus is done now. It's coming out this year. Avengers Campus, same as what's in California. And they've also got their Frozen Land is under construction right now, I believe. And their Galaxy's Edge is the next thing to be built. But I think by next year it should be up because they said they want it all open for the 30th anniversary.
Ryan, what is your backdrop? Ryan's backdrop just changed.
Yeah, no, so I could, when you could just hear something, I was just I could see something move slightly. And I was I think I only very loosely put the pins in to hold my background up. And I was I'm just going to take this down now rather than be surprised by it just, bless you, falling. Bless you. Down on top of me.
Thank you.
Sneezing, by the way, if anyone who couldn't hear that.
I know, I muted it. I
know,
no
it's just the politeness in me has to say bless you. I can't not.
Thank you.
But to be actually, I had, for once, sorted out my shelves a bit more. So as you can see...
I was going to say, looks clean. But I had to skip off there. But yeah, I'm going to Disneyland Paris next year. It's we're going for a couple of days. We were supposed to be going this October, but it's been postponed. We're going for other reasons and stuff. But yeah, I'm going over there in April, I think it is. So if you need Avengers camp, I need to research this.
Not just that. Okay, when you're there, or when you're at Disneyland Paris, they've got their the big area which is their downtown Disney. Then you've got the parks at the top. Then you've got the hotels that go around the lake that are that's with their shopping district. And one of the new hotels now is the Marvel Hotel. You know about this?
Yeah, I knew about that one.
Do you know about the restaurant?
Yeah. There's the Marvel restaurant there, isn't there?
With the windows. Do you know have you heard about this? Like the windows
No.
and stuff. So basically, the windows aren't real. The windows are screens, and so it's made to look like you are in the top of like a New York skyscraper, looking out over the New York skyline. And Spider-Man will come running across the window and sort of like stop, tap, and wave, and like, "Hey guys, hope you're enjoying that food," and like swings past. Then Green Goblin will come.
Jake booked that up straight away. Now.
Green Goblin will like fly and crash his glider because Spider-Man would have stopped him. Iron Man comes flying past. All sorts. It all happens in front of your eyes.
So check my social channels in April because I will be doing coverage of Disneyland Paris. Because see, in my head, for some reason, right? Because we go to Disney World in Florida. That to me is the mecca of Marvel, Disney, Star Wars, that kind of stuff. And I just kind of forgot about Disneyland Paris. But we're going there for like a short week. We're going 4 days, 5 days.
I imagine that once Galaxy's Edge is built in Paris, depending on the scale of it, which they're saying is going to be on the same scale as Florida, it's one of the major expansions they're doing. And obviously, it's Star Wars. No one wants to do half-assed Star Wars. They're going to go all out.
Yeah, of course. And
they've got their Avengers campus, which is going to be huge. I think a lot of people like me and that would normally go yearly to Florida because it's so easy to get to Paris because of the Eurotunnel and stuff.
And we're literally driving.
We're
literally driving.
I think more of us will become like annual pass holders, and you'll start seeing like Jedi News and that more often. Like these companies, like like Fanta Tracks, and I think you'll start seeing more of them nipping over for the press coverages and things like that of these events.
I am gonna have to research this. I did. It was one of the things I was like, yeah, we're going next year, whatever. I'm not gonna worry about it. But we were supposed to be out there for my birthday this year, and I was like, oh mate, I don't want to spend my birthday over there. Like, so we're going out there for other reasons and stuff. No, because we're not going over there for a family holiday. We're going over there because performance reasons and stuff like that. I'll tell you off call because no one needs to hear that on a Geek Week. But don't worry, I'm not performing at Disneyland. I'm not alluding to the fact of me performing at Disneyland, but we're going to be out there for 4 days. And I was kind of like, oh, okay. That'll be fun. Like, I'm looking forward to going back. But I remember Disneyland Paris as it was when I went back in like the 90s when it first opened up. It's like 92 or something like that. No. I did not realize that they had the Marvel campus and stuff like the Avengers campus up. And I did not realize that they were building a Galaxy's Edge this soon. So
Star Wars,
I need to do my research.
You've got the Star Tours attraction, which has always been there, which is great.
Then
they've got the Starport, which is their version of like the docking bay in Florida. So that's where it's full of like you got Darth Vader in there, Boba Fett's in there, meetable characters that change out through the day. Then you've got the restaurant attached to that now, which used to have like a big inflatable like ship thing in there. Over the years, that slowly changed now. And that's now like a Star Wars inspired.
Slowly deflated.
It's changed because like when Rebels came out, they started putting Rebels on the TV for the kids in there, and then they started adding like the Jedi burger, where it's got like the lightsabers and burnt into the burger bun and things like that. So they've made it like a bit of a Star Warsy kind of like burger bar. Then you've got like the Hyperspace Mountain. So Space Mountain is now Star Wars. It's now Star Wars Hyperspace Mountain. So it's all Star Wars inside that attraction.
Cool.
I'm all of a sudden really looking forward to this trip in April. Like, I was already quite hyped about it, but now that I know I've got my Marvel fix and my...
In their downtown Disney area, you've got 3 Star Wars shops, 2 Marvel shops in the hotel, so you can have fun with them.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Right, I need to go and rework my budget for this trip because I was kind of like, right, a little bit of souvenirs, a little bit.
You're going to be able to get access to the merch that I can't get hold of in Florida. Because I've got my Florida contacts, not Disneyland. So the Marvel stuff is in Paris now. So you'll have access to all the like Avengers campus merch. So like the little, the droid Spider-Man, the Spider-Man little droid. They've got the Sphero one in the parks that you control with your like Apple Watch and stuff.
Well, if you want to give me a list, I'll be out there in April. I will quite happily do some shopping, shopping trips.
Avengers Campus officially opens on the 20th of May this year. So by the time you go, it's well and truly up.
That'll be well established. Excellent. Well, there you go. You heard it here first. I did not realise, but I will be going to Avengers Campus in Paris in April. Happy days. Now I'm a little bit disappointed that I'm not going out there for my birthday because I could have been. Oh, mate, that's really made up for me. Like for me, that's really made up because I'm so disappointed we can't get out to Florida like until maybe next year. But I'm going to Paris next year. Happy days.
I'm genuinely thinking once the Avengers Campus is up and running, they've cleared the kinks and it's up and running properly. Galaxy's Edge is doing its thing. They've got the Frozen Land there doing its thing.
Yeah, and that looks insane as well.
Yeah, I think Florida's going to have a run for its money with like European visitors.
Yeah. Oh, happy days. Happy days. So was that all Star Wars? Sorry, we kind of digressed a little bit to Disney there, but was that everything Star Wars? We got a bit more.
Yeah, so the celebration reveals will be happening all this next week. So like Regal Robot, if you've heard of them, they've got their big reveal tomorrow. And like Sideshow, Hasbro, there's a bunch of like reveals that are going to be all happening all next week. Because they'll announce all the merch that's going to be exclusive to, you know, certain retailers and Celebration. They'll announce that before the actual Celebration event.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. It's going to be an interesting week.
It's going to be a fun
week. Any other news from this week? Anything else?
I think that was it, really. I can't really think of anything big movie-wise. Have you heard anything?
No, it's all quiet on the Western Front.
Yeah, it's been a relatively not a quiet week because there's been a lot going on, but there didn't seem to be like an influx of thing after thing. I think that it's the calm before the storm. I think that we're definitely due some Marvel reveals without a doubt. So I think they'll probably come. I don't want to say they're going to come next week because obviously it's all Star Wars, and
so it's all coming up Star Wars. It will be after a couple of weeks after, I reckon.
Yeah, so I think we're quite safe for a couple of weeks.
I can't see many people wanting to compete with sort of going up against Kenobi and then Celebration straight after, like on the same sort of time scale. These next 2 weeks are going to be heavy Star Wars, I think. And then
I just don't think Hasbro would do it. I don't think they would release big products on the same weeks that they've got other big products coming out. No. So is there anything that you guys are really hoping to see come out of Celebration or Kenobi, like product wise?
I want to see 3 3/4 inch Bad Batch figures. I know it's not going to happen. I'd like to see something different from the retro. I want to see some more retro. I want to see some more Imperials.
Nice. I like
that. No, but that is my main thing. I think I would really like to see something new from the retro collection. And I would love to see something really special 3 3/4 inch, like Bad Batch preferably, but even something like Kenobi. I don't know, just something kind of cool in that scale. Like something unexpected, like the Spanish Inquisition. No one would expect it. That's what I'm looking for.
Just pop out there. I saw a really wholesome video actually of Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen. Is it?
Yeah, this week.
Yeah. Did you see the interview one where they're talking about the relation?
Go on, what do you hear?
They're talking about their relationship with Star Wars and how it's changed because of. Yeah, I just thought that was really nice to kind of hear how they had a really bad relationship with Star Wars because of the critiques of those films, but how now they're so well received because of the kids growing up watching them. Mm-hmm. And that was just really, I was like, kind of, it just makes me look forward to this series even more, that they've kind of come back like excited as opposed to.
Best is still sitting there going, no. He's very sad. The thing is that he did actually have a little redemption, old Ahmed Best. Like he actually got another little chance to do some Star Wars, like the voice of an actor who played Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah,
because he got death threats, which was so wrong. When people get death threats over it, it's
just there's some really good videos by him about how his journey and stuff, and how he was like mentally and stuff because of it all. And yeah, he
got a new character, so he plays a Jedi, and it was like how we used to have like Funhouse or stuff like that, like those TV programs where we was like the Raven and stuff like that, the quest type things. You have like as a kid, you'd have like 3 or 4 kid contestants, and they'd have to take part in a series of challenges.
Yeah.
They did a Star Wars one of those. It's on Disney Plus, and Ahmed Best was actually the host as a Jedi. They
nice.
Got him back, so he's got his own character. There was special droids made just for it. It was good fun. It only did one season, weirdly, but
only had half an episode, but it was okay.
It was a major thing for the Star Wars Kids YouTube channel as well, wasn't it? That Trials of the Jedi, as what they call it.
Yeah, that was it.
That's really cool.
Good fun, but it was just nice that they had something positive for it was like, here, have something positive to do, because there's been so much unfair amount of negativity.
Did you guys hear the interview with Ewan McGregor about him and Hayden on the set and stuff? Did you hear about that interview?
No.
So I don't know what show it was on, but there was like, I think it was part of the European premiere or something, because they were on like a rooftopy thing somewhere. And they were basically saying that like Obi Wan Kenobi, the first time he met Hayden on set this time, Hayden was in the full Darth Vader get-up. They said the scene is that, and I can't believe he gave so much away, because he sort of says that like Darth Vader's coming up behind him. And he said the first time he turned around, he said he didn't want to see Anakin before that. He said they wanted the moment to be when they see each other again, like on the set. So they kind of did that reunion moment where he turns around and he's now Vader. He said he forgot about he thought he'd see Hayden, and he forgot that this time around it's Vader he's going up against, not Hayden. And he said the big thing was, he said he reverted back to being like a 9-year-old and said, "Oh my god, it's fucking Darth Vader." He said they had this moment of going, "Oh my god, it's Darth Vader," and he reverted to being like a proper fanboy.
Even Fortnite got in on Star Wars, didn't it? It's like re-released all the skins, and the lightsabers are back in the item in the game as well.
Fortnite jump on, Jesus.
Mate, you need to have a go. Fortnite is the best time killer. It is the best time killer. But right now,
I don't have enough time to kill.
Ryan, right now, you can download the skin of Kylo Ren or a Stormtrooper or whoever it is that you want to do, and you run around the map and you just pick up Mace Windu's lightsaber, or pick up, and then you can have full-on lightsaber fights with other people. I don't. I hide at the back and snipe at people, but you can if you want.
I've got enough Star Wars games to enjoy that I don't need to be doing that.
But you know what? No, the reason I brought it up is that, you know, my son, he's 9 years old, and I've not seen him so excited about something being brought into Fortnite again as he was lightsabers. When he saw the trailer drop for lightsabers coming back to Fortnite, he was so excited, and I was just like, you know what? That's quite wholesome. Like, from a Star Wars perspective, and as a Star Wars fan, it was like, to be that excited about the element of being able to play with lightsabers within the game is just cool. But yeah, everyone's getting in on the celebrations.
Yeah, right now they've got a deal on where you can, I think it's 800 V-Bucks, and you get the set that includes BK skin, Shand, and like their ship and all their like emotes and everything for like 800.
Yeah.
Which not all of them skins are like 1,300 or something each.
Yeah, they're usually over
so 800 for the pair is like, I couldn't resist that. I instantly topped up my V-Bucks.
Yeah, I still love. I'm still guilty of playing it from time to time. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, but I think if that's everything this week, I think that's a nice little roundup of. We'll end on a high for Star Wars. Last thoughts? Anything? I don't think there is.
Last thought from me is rewatching the Kenobi trailer this week. Who is he talking to?
I don't know.
That bit where he says, it's like everyone said, oh, he's talking about having to remain hidden and stuff. He's talking to someone. He's telling someone, remain hidden. He's talking to someone.
Yeah.
Who is he
There's
talking
definitely
to?
a story. Before we do Fernando, I saw a good fan theory, because everyone's talking about how does he age from what Ewan McGregor looks like to obviously how he does in The New Hope.
20 years.
Yeah. But there was a good fan theory about him coming up against, like, you know how like the Emperor like drains the life force and stuff, and they age, and that's going to happen to him in this series, and that's why he'll end this series like the age jump will be. So in A New Hope, he's not actually as old as he looks. He's just had like the life force drained from him and stuff. So I think that's quite cool.
Maybe they'll leave it a bit open to do one or two little adventures still, maybe, or something.
No, they're not gonna do anything more. This is his swan song, I think. I think this is gonna be the last time we see Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan.
I think we've definitely said that before, so you never know.
Yeah, it's very true. That is very true. But if that is everything, that kind of rounds up the Geek Week in Review, episode 48. Episode 48. I still can't get over the fact that it's 11 months of the Geek Week in Review. And as always, if you are watching us, then please do like, share, subscribe, all those things. Check the details for the Gents Details and give them a follow. If you don't already do so, check us out on Instagram and on Facebook. And if you are listening on podcast, you know the score. Continue to download and share. We appreciate you across all platforms. So, leaves me to say one thing. Ryan?
Keep it geek.
The Geek Week in Review.